Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Power Burst. This is a new episode, and Tara Gretton, my friend and colleague, and myself, Vicky Essebag, will be responding to the question today: what are educators doing that you may not know about? And so Tara and I have been doing a little series on schools, and we've been talking about educators. And when we refer to educators, we refer to really anybody in a school that is in a teaching capacity or in an educational support capacity. Um, and, and so we were talking about really that people don't often recognize the depth and breadth of what educators do in a school every day. I mean, we know that they're teaching the curriculum and the subjects, and we know that, and we know that they're assessing students and that they're planning for students and so on. We often also think about the fact that we have coaches in schools and that, coaches are working with teams and so on. But there are nuances, there are bits and pieces all throughout the day that we often don't think about. And so, what we want to do today is we just want to recognize our educators and we want to show appreciation for our educators. And we think that this is necessary, especially now. We're in the month of October, approaching soon the end of October. Things are very, very intensely busy in schools. So let's talk a little bit about our appreciation for educators today, and just maybe open up those opportunities to focus on what it is that they're up to, and what do we notice that they're doing that we don't often talk about.
Yeah.
Tara?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think I've been thinking about this a lot over the past week, and in the schools that I get to work in, I'm going into one school for a day or 2 days a week, and always the pace of the busyness, the intensity, particularly for the support staff, as we call it, the pastoral teams in the UK. So the staff that are working to support the students every day, the attendance officer, the heads of year, the heads of house, the safeguarding lead, and just observing how they support students on an everyday basis, and the care that they give. And they're working with lots of other agencies as well, so they've got students coming in and seeking support, and whether they're kind of upset, stressed about something, or they've lost something, or they need to charge their phone, or they haven't got a tie, or they haven't got any lunch money, or just so many things. And schools can have between 800 and 1,000 students, and there's this small team that are literally there giving this consistent care and support, whilst having phone calls with social care or other agencies, making referrals, sending parents letters, phoning parents, and meeting really early in the morning, way before the students arrive, way before the school kind of kicks into action, to talk about those students that they're really concerned about, or the students that need extra support, or just generally, and actually that level of support isn't only within the support team, it ripples out across the teachers as well, the tutors, and that's what I've really been conscious of and observing, is that care that happens day in, day out in the school environment, that I really think, unless you're in there, I mean, hopefully, people know about it if they've got children, or young people that they care for, that they get the sense that those young people are being cared for. But there are the things that you just don't get to see, that we get to see, that I get to see as an external person coming into a school. And it really just, I feel like it just, it needs to be shared and to be celebrated and acknowledged. So thank you. All of you amazing educators.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for noticing. Because there is so much that's going on. So the support staff, all of that team, what you refer to as the pastoral team in the UK, in North America, we would probably call that the guidance counseling team, or in Ontario or Canada, we might call it the student success team.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all the support people that play a role in meeting the needs of students in all kinds of ways, in addition to the classroom teacher. So they may be educational assistants, they may be child and youth workers, they may be guidance counselors, they may be special education teachers and support staff, that kind of thing. And so, yes, there are all of those people doing miraculous things with students. You'll be walking down the hall and a student will say, "Oh yes, I'm going to see Miss Rose. She's going to help me with my reading, and I'm going to go see Mr. Jones, and he's going to help me finish this assignment that I've been struggling with." And there's a lot of that going on in a day. And some of those educators are coming into the classroom and they're supporting the teacher in the classroom with specific students who might have specific needs. But I also want to talk about teachers and what they're doing all day, because so imagine in high school, for example. So you might have 5 periods in the day, or you might have 4 periods in the day. Let's say you have 5 periods in the day, one of them is lunch. In the other 4 periods, you're teaching subjects. Each of those subjects might be 75 minutes long. And in each of those classes, you might have about 30 students. Mm-hmm. And imagine that in addition to teaching those 4 lessons, each of 75 minutes, that during that time, you are meeting the needs of individual students. So how many students are you touching base with? Are you checking in with? Are you supporting? Are you helping during that time? And you mentioned, Tara, also, how they're doing this during their lunch hours, how they're doing this before and after school. In addition to that, teachers are making phone calls to families, to parents at the end of the school day, before the school day. They're sending emails to stay in contact. If they're dealing with a particular case or a student, they're going to be contacting the family. They're going to be working with the family to make this work. They're going to be calling, maybe they're calling the student because the student didn't come into school. And so there's a lot of that going on. And so one of the things that, I always used to prioritize in schools was to find opportunities for teachers throughout the day where they could just sort of take a deep breath. And so, but I mean, really take a deep breath, not just going into the staff room during your lunchtime to mark assignments. That's not really taking a deep breath. Having an opportunity perhaps at lunchtime to have a little coffee house where you set up some tables with tablecloths and teachers brown bag it and bring their lunch, or, maybe they're not brown bagging it. Maybe they're using recyclable containers and they're bringing their lunch, and they know that this is a little coffee house where they're chatting with each other, but they're not marking, right? Yeah. Little things like that, where we celebrate our teachers and we say, and our educators, and we say, yeah, we realize that what you're doing in the day is so intense all the time. It's possible that in a day you're touching base with over 100 people.
Yeah.
And that we value you and that we value your time. And so we want to just give you a little bit of time just to be able to take a deep breath and be kind to yourself and to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we really value all of the educators and all the support staff, and yeah, and Aussie values you all too.
Yeah.